Welcome and peace be with you. I am Brother John from the Nazarean Essene Order of the Christ Rose Sanctuary in Glastonbury. I am a storyteller of circles and a messenger of good news for all those that question life's meaning, who seek to know the source of their being and the truth of a living God. We are all in the midst of planetary end-of-world changes that the Bible speaks of in the book of Revelation. All its prophecies have now been fulfilled, and the second coming of the Christ is imminent, where everyone, whether you believe or not, love or hate, will know that God exists. In this four-part presentation, The Living Truths of God's Creation, I am your storyteller guide to help you transition from an ego-based mindset of fear and separation to connect within your heart to our living God and the universal family circle of unconditional love. In part 1, Returning Home to Love, I will show the limits of our patriarchal society that keeps us in the dark, and offer a new Holy Trinity as a key to transition into your heart and the light within. In part 2, Circle's creation story, I present a heart-centered family creation story that unites the macrocosm with the microcosm to reveal your soul and its intimate connection with God. In part 3, The New Jerusalem, I reveal what is now manifest on earth in the 5th dimension and above, and speak of new creation-wide changes and how we are emerging in a new silver age of life and love. In part 4, the Kahana records and spiritual channeling, I describe how every thought, feeling and action, personally and collectively, is recorded in creation, and how through spiritual channeling our true history is being revealed and the workings of the universe is shown to us. So let us begin, returning home to love. Our Earth was the last planet in this universe to be birthed, and being the last was the most beautiful of all creation. It was a paradise where all the people experienced oneness with the circle of life and connected with their Creator at its center. They knew the planet Earth to be the living mother from the heart of creation, and the spirit within to be the living father from the mind of creation. Through the universal Father-Mother, they worshipped the oneness at the source of life and knew themselves as sons and daughters of God. All the kingdoms of nature were unified, and the people enjoyed the animals as their friends and teachers. There were 12 temples and 12 schools of learning about the 12 aspects of God, the cosmic rays that emanate from God's heart to reach us through the rays of the sun. Each person developed their innate godliness through the rays, with the gifts of being that they bring. A visiting soul to Earth could live and evolve in each school with its ray to embody all the divine aspects of God. Mother Earth was a shining star in this universe, and all was peaceful and harmonic with unconditional love. Then came a pyramid empire that is not connected to the circle, led by an oligarchy of men with a warband beneath them. They knew of the existence of a living God, but chose to ignore, to crown themselves as gods and goddesses instead. They inverted the teachings of the cosmic rays and set themselves up to rule as the chosen families of their gods. The abundance of Mother Earth that was previously given freely now became owned and shared amongst an elite. And when they weren't at war against others, they were at war against themselves, as divide and rule is their game. And so, our human story has repeated for thousands of years, of a circle of indigenous people being invaded by an empire, taking their land and resources, and making them slaves in poverty. All our known history is of warring empires rising, then falling. But now their time is at an end, for God has taken back control again, and their corruption is being exposed for all to see. Those that cling to the dying empires will fall, while the meek that choose the circle of love will rise to inherit the earth again. Let us look at our beliefs of science and theology. Scientific theories of the universe have reached an impasse. We can only observe 5% of creation, while 25% is described as exotic dark matter and 70% as dark energy. Based on the theories of the Big Bang and gravity, dark matter accounts for the formation and evolution of the galaxies, while dark energy accounts for the accelerating expansion of the universe. All in all, the Big Bang and gravity theories point towards a creator consciousness, yet the empire mindset still chooses to ignore, which leaves us in the dark, in an impersonal world, with our fundamental questions of life unanswered. Without science embracing a living source of life, we are still inside Plato's cave, speculating about theories or shadow reflections on the cave wall, and not knowing who we are in the light outside the cave of so-called expert minds. Theology teaches that the Trinity of creation is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and that the Son is called Jesus, who was born on the 25th of December. These are myths and beliefs that are not true. The Son is Yeshua ben Josephus, who was born on the 12th of March. He is Lord Yeshua, the Messiah. Calling him Jesus was a Roman insult, and changing his birth date aligned him to the worship of their pagan gods. The Holy Spirit is of Yeshua's teaching, yet not part of the Trinity. The Trinity of creation is the Father, the Mother, and the Son. This was misconstrued by the corrupt of the Church, who insist that the mother side of God never existed. The Trinity consciousness manifests through our true God, Lord Yahweh, whose name was erased from the Bible. Lord Yahweh is the heart of the Christ and the source of the Holy Spirit. In our patriarchal world, we have never known the Mother of God, yet you cannot be born without the Mother. Her worlds are the physical, and the Father's worlds are the spiritual. Together and apart, they manifest creation for us as sons and daughters of God to embody and enjoy life. When you open your heart to the Trinity consciousness of Father, Mother, Son, you enter into a living story in the light and love outside the ego cave of darkness. Dark matter becomes the science of the cosmic solar rays, and dark energy becomes the expansion of the soul from connecting to the Christ-like consciousness. We are now ready for part 2, to expand our understanding of the living truths of God's creation.